Hello everyone, welcome back for the third video tutorial for lab number 8. So for this video, we are going to turn this piece of the code as another functions. So all of this as another function so that I can just call helper1 right here, helper1 dot load data, okay, and then return us the list of questionnaire as list1. So this is what we want to do. So in order to do this, we're gonna have to actually create a new function in the helper class. As you can see now, this, okay, I would say up to this here can be reviewed as the code fragment statement right here. So anytime you want to load it there, you just call this function. Okay, so we go for function questionnaire and then create the new function right here. Sorry, the helper class, sorry. And create the new functions. This is an of class. So my functions will return the list of questionnaire, and the function name is to load the data. It doesn't take any input parameter for now. And then what we need to do is we're gonna have to move. You can go by, first thing is we create the list right here, list of questionnaire, list1 equal to new list of questionnaire, and then we can go back to the program and take this off. We don't need this anymore because we're gonna create that list inside the function call. And then what you could do is you copy all of this, put it inside the helper class. Okay, so this function, what it does is first create the objects belong to this collection, or the collection of this class, which is the list, and then we call the functions to load the data from this file, and then converts the basic laws of the elements in the arrays into the data for each information, and then we create the objects, then push the objects inside this. And now after this, because as you can see, the signature of this function tells us that we have to return a variable with the valuable name that belong to this class. As if you can guess, the function have to return, okay, list number 1 as the output. First, we create list number 1 right here, and then we do all this. And by the end of this, list 1 we got populated with the collection of the objects that belong to questionnaire class. And we return this so that when you call this function, when this function get called, one more time, this function load data, it get called, okay, by the objects belong to helper class. It should return, because it's return the data, that's why we have to declare the memory space to hold this data. In this case, we declare it like this because this is the name. So you can put this as, for example, well, collection 1. If you don't want to call it as list 1, and then you can pass this as collection 1 right here. Okay, as you can see that the reason that you can have this is because you return the data. Now if without this, see what happened. Without a return, you specify data type right here. It's going to show that first let's fix this. Okay, fix this, and then they say that return value, okay, not code part return value means you specify the data type right here, but you don't have any return statements, so you're gonna have to make sure that you return something. Imagine that this is just like a box. The box doesn't take input parameter. Inside the box is create something for us, update some data for us, and then you pull your hand inside the box to pick up something. That is the return of the data. Alright, so now by calling these functions from the objects, we got the data as the output here, and then we can pass this data into another function call from the same objects. Now if you run the project now, as you can see, it's return the same result, but the use of the code fragments in your main class is a lot easier. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to, for example, This helper class load the data from the fixed name of the file. What if you want to change the name at the runtime as well? So if that's the case, for example, here we might have another file called let's say renames this is as data2.csv, and then inside this we change the data a little bit, so it's become another set of the data. Let's say like the name will be different, the data will be changed, okay, a little bit, okay, save it, and then here if you fix the name of data right here is impossible, so ability to change the name of the data as the input parameter must be required here. So for example, I should be able to call this function and then put the name of the file that I want. So here let's put csv2.data. Am I right? So let's put this one more time. Or data2.csv. Data2.csv. Alright, so now if you run the project, it's going to say that this method, okay, cannot take this input parameter because it is in the signature, it doesn't take any input parameter. If you want to take this input, then you have to put it right here as file name, for example, and then you replace that fixed file name with this variable name. Okay, now if I run the project, it gives me the different data results, as you can see, because inside the second file here I changed the data a little bit. So now your function become a little bit more flexible, as you can specify the name of the file as the input. Okay, so then the helper doesn't need to know what is the name of the input first. It's just take this as the name of the input and load the data based on this name. Alright, so this is all for this video tutorial. I'll see you for the next video. Thank you.